No, she's not. I'm gonna call this. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit you the hard. I turned the bike on. I want to call this council meeting to order for Tuesday, March the 7th, 2023 at 7 p.m. I'm going to call for the roll, please.
Councilman Brown,
Present.
Councilman Fields.
Here.
Chair Pro Tem Miles,
Here.
Councilwoman Peterson, Councilman Pete,
Here.
Vice Mayor Nickerson,
Here.
Mayor Wood.
Here.
Sir, you have a quorum.
All right, please note that Councilwoman Peterson was under the weather tonight. Didn't want to spread her germs, and we thank her for that. I'm going to now ask that the Assistant Pastor of Winners Church, Ms. Zenny Oluwu, come and give us our invocation, please.
Good evening. My name is Zenny and I'm one of the pastors from Winners Church. If you don't mind, may we rise for prayers, please. The Bible says that it is a good thing to give thanks unto the Lord and to sing praises unto his holy name, to show forth his loving kindness in the morning and his faithfulness every night. Our Father and our God, we thank you so very much for this amazing power and work in our lives. We thank you for your goodness. We thank you for your blessing over us. We thank you for your mercy and for your grace. Father, we thank you that you are always with us and you never leave us. Thank you for your provision. Thank you for your deliverance. Thank you for your protection. Thank you for every seat that is filled here today, for each mind and heart that feels the presence of this room. Lord, we are grateful. Only you knows about everything that we are going to deliberate here tonight. We invite your presence and ask for your help. Father, we thank you and ask that you give us clear minds, that there will be nothing that will distract us from our time together tonight. We submit our deliberations into your hands and ask for clarity of vision in the name of Jesus. We ask that you will help us to make the right decisions that will favor people and the town of Dumfries. We ask that you will graciously fill us with your wisdom, with your understanding, and show us how to move forward. Father, we pray for protection for the town of Dumfries, for our county, for our state. Remove every negative influence from us. Lord, we ask that you will guide our children, guide the youth, the men and the women, and how to move forward. Father, even this night we pray for the tenure of the mayor and all elected officials, that they will experience peace throughout, that there will be no calamity or natural disasters. Father, we ask that you will bless this meeting tonight and everyone present, and afterwards the people that we meet, in the name of Jesus. We declare that this meeting will be fruitful. We declare that this meeting will be a success. We therefore declare this meeting open in the name of God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Please remain
Thank
standing.
you. You may be seated.
No, please remain standing. We're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance now. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, now Simon says, no, just teasing. All right. Next on our agenda is the adoption of our agenda. Council, is there any addendums or changes to the agenda? Yes, ma'am.
I would like to make a motion that we rearrange the proclamation A,
All right.
because I do not see the proclamation
Okay.
recipient here.
Okay.
So I'd like to make a motion that we move it, maybe move A to after C to give her time to arrive, because there's a lot of traffic out there.
Okay, it's no problem. All right. Any other? No? Shanae, anything you have to add? No? Okay. All right, seeing none.
Lily, are you here to receive on her behalf?
No.
Oh, no, that's not what I'm referring to. Thank you.
That's your motion?
Yes,
did
that's the motion.
Okay. All right, so the motion and second. All right, motion is just to move A down to C and keep the rest of the agenda as same on a motion made by the vice mayor, second by Councilman Pete. Any discussion on the motion? How are you, Ms. Van Dyke? Welcome. Glad you could make it through the traffic. All right, seeing no discussion on the motion, I will call for the question. Councilman Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Miles?
Aye.
Mr. Pete?
Yes.
Mr. Fields?
Yes.
Ms. Nickerson?
Yes.
All right, and that's a yes for me, so that motion carries 6-0. All right. So I guess the first of our awards and proclamations on the agenda tonight will be the to recognize a proclamation celebrating the School Social Worker of the Year. It was for the region, but as of yesterday, it became for the whole state. All right, now come on, applaud. If you want, please come stand so we can look at you while I read all of this stuff. Where social workers across the nation celebrate the month of March as National Social Worker Month, recognizing the important role they play in helping families, communities overcome barriers and reach their full potential. And whereas March 21st, 2023 is designated as World Social Worker Day, a global celebration of the social work profession and its contribution to society. And whereas March the 5th through 11th, 2023 is designated as School Social Worker Week. School Social Work Week. That's like a nursery rhyme. Honoring the invaluable work of school social workers in supporting students and families in schools. And whereas in addition to these national celebrations, the Northern region of Virginia has an additional reason to celebrate this year's Social Worker Month with the awarding of the School Social Worker of the Year 2023 to Tar W. Fuentes, right? I always say it. Funches, my wife says it right, but I don't. Presented by the Virginia Association of School Social Workers and the Northern Region, Virginia. And whereas she has earned these distinct honors through her outstanding work as a social worker, breaking down barriers and empowers students and families to overcome these challenges and reach their full potential. And whereas this year's theme is Social Work Breaks Barriers. I think she's the co-chair. It reflects the important work that social workers do every day to fight social injustice, respect the dignity and worth of all people, and help individuals, families, and communities overcome obstacles to better well-being. And whereas the northern regions and counties include Arlington, Culpeper, Fairfax, Fall Church, the city of Fauquier, Fredericksburg, King George, Loudoun, Manassas City. These are all the areas she beat out. All right, I just wanted to say that. Loudoun, Manassas City, Manassas Park, Orange County, Prince William County, Spotsylvania, Stafford. Let me keep reading. Warren, and then all the rest of the state that I didn't put in here before yesterday. We are proud to honor your important contributions as a social worker and, more importantly, as a school social worker. So now, therefore, be it resolved that the Town Council of Dumfries do hereby proclaim the month of March Social Work Month, and we call upon all the citizens to recognize and celebrate the vital role that social workers and school social workers play in our communities. We extend our warmest congratulations for earning the School Social Worker of the Year 2023 award, and we thank you for your outstanding contributions to the well-being of our students and families. In witness by the seal of the town of Dumfries, on behalf of the council, Mayor Derek R. Wood.
This is a little, can I move this? No. Okay. Good evening, everyone. Oh, thank you. First, I would like to say, of course, giving honor to God, my Lord and Savior, for allowing me this opportunity to stand here before you this evening. I thank him for giving me the passion to be a social worker, to be a change agent, to break barriers for the children and on behalf of families and communities, specifically Dumfries Triangle area. I thank him for giving me the passion to have a profession that I do not mind waking up every day going to, even if I wouldn't get paid for it. I don't know how many people can say that, but I can. I want to thank my family, specifically my husband, Stacy, my son, Stacy II, who's here from college on spring break, and my daughter Sadara, who's in college right now. She'll be coming home for spring break next week. And hopefully she's watching on the YouTube channel, and as well as my extended family and friends. Thank you, Kim, for coming to support me, one of my longstanding girlfriends from way back when I was working in the elementary school. So I also want to thank my community. I want to thank my school, Grand Park Middle School. Give a shout out to my principal, Ms. Walker, and admin staff, and of course, the lovely board here, Mayor Wood. Thank you very much for thinking of me. And I just am very humbled to have received this award. I understand it's the first time. Is that true? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I'm also breaking barriers in that area too. But thank you so much. Thank you.
Want to ask little Miss Lillian Rokas. You did tell me that. Come to the front, please. I want to read a proclamation for National Read Across America Day. This is our talented poet. Whereas Miss Lillian is a gifted and talented member of our community who aspires to be an author and a passionate advocate for literacy and reading. She's also in the gifted and talented program over at Fitzgerald. Whereas March the 2nd is the National Read Across America Day, a day dedicated to celebrating and recognizing the power of reading and encouraging children, teenagers, and adults all to pick up a book and read. Whereas the town of Dumfries recognizes the importance of literacy and the role it plays in shaping the minds and future of our youth. And whereas reading is fundamental to success in all aspects of life, and the love of reading begins at home with parents, caregivers, and families. And whereas the citizens of the town of Dumfries, we stand firmly committed to promoting reading as the catalyst for our students' future academic success, their global preparation for America's jobs of the future, and their ability to compete in a now global economy. And whereas the town of Dumfries has provided significant leadership in the area of community involvement in the educating of our youth, grounded in the principle that education investment is the key to the community's well-being and long-term quality of life. And whereas the town of Dumfries recognizes that child's literacy development is a shared responsibility and that family and community involvement is essential to promoting literacy and fostering a lifelong love of reading for our children. Now, therefore, the Town Council of Dumfries, Virginia, do hereby proclaim March the 2nd as National Read Across America Day in the town of Dumfries. Furthermore, we recognize and we honor little Miss Lily for her dedication to promoting literacy and reading in our community, and we encourage all residents to take part in the National Read Across America Day by taking the time to read with a child, sharing their favorite book, and creating a fun and positive reading experiences for children in our community. Let us all join together in celebrating and recognize the power of reading, and let us all work to promote literacy and the love of reading among our children, our teenagers, and adults. By order of the council, Mayor Derek R. Wood, what do you want to say?
And Lily's birthday is Friday.
Yeah. She'll be 10 years old. And she recited a poem at our Kwanzaa party. She created a poem for us for our swearing in ceremony that happened this year. And she'll be doing something for our State of the Town address, which is the third Thursday in June. An original poem. Yeah, give it up for me. Oh, and the Black History poem, yeah. Speed, speed. No, she's saving her poem for y'all to come back. That's just creates curiosity. She also just performed a poem at our Black History, Hey Black Child. So very talented. All right, next, a proclamation for Women's History Month for the National Coalition of 100 Black Women. I don't know if all y'all want to come up and stand in the corner or representative. Okay. And I think they all read the same until the end. All right, so this one says, whereas American women of every race, class, and ethnic background have made historic contributions to the growth and strength of our nation in countless recorded and unrecorded ways, and have played and continue to play critical economic, cultural, and social role in every sphere of life of the nation by constituting a significant portion of the labor force working inside and outside of the home. And whereas American women have played a unique role throughout the history of the nation by providing the majority of the volunteer labor force of the nation, were particularly important in the establishment of early charitable, philanthropical, and cultural institutions in our nation, and served as early leaders in the forefront of every major progressive social change movement. And whereas American women have served our country courageously in the military, they have been leaders not only in securing their own rights of suffrage and equal opportunity, but also in the abolitionist movement, the emancipation movement, the industrial labor movement, the civil rights movement, and other movements, and movements we ain't even created yet. Especially the peace movement, which create a more fair and just society for all. And whereas the theme for the 2023 National Women's History Month is celebrating women who tell our stories, and the National Coalition of 100 Black Women, Prince William County Chapter Incorporated, has been instrumental in providing leadership, advocacy, and mentorship to young women in our community, and in helping to promote social and economic and political change for all women. And whereas despite these contributions, the role of American women in history has been consistently overlooked and undervalued in literature, in teaching, and the study of American history. Now, therefore, the Town Council of Dumfries, Virginia, do hereby proclaim March 2023 as National Women's History Month in the town of Dumfries, and we recognize the National Coalition of 100 Black Women, Prince William County Chapter Incorporated, for its contributions to advancing the cause of women in our community. Furthermore, we commend the organization for its tireless efforts to promote gender and racial equity, for its work in inspiring and empowering the next generation of leaders, Let us celebrate the theme of celebrating women who tell our stories and recognize the contributions of the National Coalition of 100 Black Women, Prince William County Chapter Incorporated, in telling stories of Black women and advancing their voices. We call upon all the residents of the town of Dumfries and the surrounding communities to join us in celebrating the achievements and contribution of American women, and particularly the women in our community, to our nation's history and to our future. By order of the council, signed, Mayor Derek R. Wood.
Good evening. I'm Sharon Stone, the president of the National Coalition of 100 Black Women, Prince William County chapter. To Mayor Woods and the council, thank you so very much for recognizing the National Coalition of 100 Black Women. As we celebrate Women's History Month, the theme, celebrating women who tell their stories, our story began in 1970 with a group of 24 women, Black women in New York City, who were meeting in their homes concerned about the issues that were right after the civil rights movement. Injustice, voter suppression, affordable housing, sound like 2023, but it was 1970. And so they started to talk about those issues and then to talk with other women in the area, and they formed a coalition of women. And they knew that it would be more than 100, but it was a coalition of 100. They called it a coalition of 100 women. And they started to reach out with women across the nation. So today, the National Coalition of 100 Black Women, we have 62 chapters across 27 states, with approximately 3,000 members. And we're advocating on behalf of Black women and girls in the areas of, to promote leadership and gender equity in the areas of health, education, and economic empowerment. And we do that here in Prince William County, Stafford, Dumfries, and all through our mentoring programs. We have about right now, probably about 60 ladies, young ladies that we mentor, Garfield High School, from Woodbridge High School, middle school, and then at Jenkins Elementary and at Dumfries Elementary School. We also have leadership programs. We're recognizing women in our community who are doing great things, advocating. It takes everyone from the social worker to all to help raise a community. And we'll recognize them through our Courageous Generational Leadership Program. So we give away scholarships. This last year, we gave away $17,000 in scholarships, one $10,000 scholarship to a young lady graduating from high school. So we are continuously trying to work in the community. We advocate on behalf of all women. And tonight is a historic night. Virginia, we're celebrating Senator McClellan's swearing in as the first African-American woman from the state of Virginia. But while we can celebrate that, we are still advocating for our reproductive rights, that we can have a voice over what happens to our bodies. We are advocating for equal rights amendments so that we're not discriminated against in jobs and pay and all of those things. So while we can celebrate the progress, there's still much work to be done. So again, I thank you so very much for recognizing us, and anyone who wants to join us, just come and pull up your sleeves and we will be more than welcome to have you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's not for the men though, right? No, just see. I'm just checking. I don't know. Did anybody come from the League of Women Voters? Oh, okay. Come on up. You did. You met. Okay, come on up to the front. I will read the last whereas and the condemnation. I want to recognize with the same proclamation for Recognized Women History Month, but this is for we want to furthermore commend the National Women's History Month we want to recognize the League of Women Voters of Prince William County and Fauquier for its contributions to advancing the cause of women in our community. And furthermore, we commend the organization for its tireless efforts to promote civic engagement and to protect and expand the voting rights of all citizens. We're going to continue to celebrate the things, celebrating women who tell our stories and recognize the contribution of the League of Women Voters of Prince William, Fauquier County, in promoting democracy and civil participation. And we call upon all the citizens of Dumfries and our surrounding communities to celebrate their achievements of American women, and particularly women in our community and our nation into our future.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. My name is Cynthia Chambers. I'm here on behalf of our league president, who is Janet Bourne. Janet Bourne was called away on a family emergency, and I am here to represent her. Just briefly, we take a lot of pride in increasing the numbers of registered voters in Prince William County. We're particularly proud of our efforts and our success in registering young men and women at the high school and college levels. So we thank you for this opportunity, Mayor and illustrious council. We are delighted to receive this proclamation. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, now Prince William chapter of National Congress. Was there a representative there? Not. Oh, come on now. Last but certain of Black women. Yes, ma'am. Oh, black women. Yes, Black. A proclamation recognizing women history for Prince William chapter of the National Congress of Black Women. Because this is women. So whereas Women's History Month is celebrated in March, and the Prince William chapter of National Congress of Black Women is an organization dedicated to advancing the needs and concerns of women, particularly Black women, through advocacy, education, and empowerment. Whereas the Prince William chapter of National Congress of Black Women has been a strong voice for social justice, civil rights, and the equal opportunities for all. So now, therefore, be it resolved that the Town Council of Dumfries do hereby proclaim March 2023 as National Women's History Month in the town, and we recognize the Prince William chapter of National Congress of Black Women for their outstanding service to our community. Furthermore, we commend the Prince William chapter of National Congress of Black Women for their dedication and empowering women, particularly Black women, and promoting social justice, and we encourage all residents to join in celebrating the achievements of the women and the vital role they play in our society. On behalf of the council, signed Mayor Derek R.
Good evening. My name is Gloria Boyd Yarbrough. I have been a member of the National Congress of Black Women here in Prince William for over 20 years. I am here on the behalf of my president, Patricia Jackson. She is unable to be here with us today. We have been working in the Prince William community for some 30 years. We do it in many of different ways. One of our strongest ways of serving our community is through a College for Kids program. And up until COVID, we worked with, in concert with Northern Virginia Community College. And what we did was help children from kindergarten through high school set goals. and the goal was to plan for their future. We also partner with the Marine Corps, Toys for Tots program. We put toys in the hands of children in partnership with the Marines. And in doing this at that time of the year, we've learned that we help the health of people. Children and parents deal with a great deal of stress during that time of the year. We help relieve some of that stress and mental strain at that time of the year. Also, I stand here on the shoulders of Shirley Chisholm, C. Dolores Tucker, Ife Williams, and most recently, Dr. Janice Broom Brooks. And our slogan that we stand by is a woman's place is in the House as well as the Senate.
I got nervous. I thought she was gonna say in cooking, but that's good. And in the Senate. You see, we surrounded by women on this dais. All right, last one, and I don't know if they're here. Top ladies of distinction. Yes, it was. All right, I don't see it. Okay. All right, so they speaking that. All right, well, good. But give it up for all the women organizations. We learned a lot. For Women's History Month. Next quick item, approval of the minutes. Any changes? None? Okay, it's been moved. Mr. Brown,
Second.
second by Ms. Nickerson. Any discussion? Seeing none, Mr. Fields,
Yes.
Mr. Pete,
Yes.
Ms. Miles?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Ms. Nickerson?
Yeah.
That's a yes for me. All right, next is citizen comment period. Are there any citizens who signed up to speak and to share tonight?
Not tonight, Mayor.
Oh, okay, who didn't? Oh, you, okay, all right, come up to the mic, say your name. You guys can line up. I see you. Ms. Norma Fields from the Dumfries Slave Cemetery. Friends of Dumfries Slave Cemetery.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I wanted to come out tonight to thank, on behalf of the Friends of Dumfries Slave Cemetery, we want to thank Mayor Wood, members of the Town Council, citizens of Dumfries for the absolutely wonderful support they have given to the Dumfries Slave Cemetery over the years. I cannot tell you how they've given us money, they've given us labor, they've given us just so much support as we restore the cemetery that we found 10 years ago was over in Dumfries, and we've been working on it for a while. But the support that we've gotten from the town council and the people of Dumfries just makes our work so much easier, because we have determined that we want to give the people buried in that cemetery a dignity in death that they did not have in life. And the town of Dumfries helps us to do that. I can't tell you how wonderful they have been to work with. We want you to know that we thank you so much. And we're starting our term of cleaning up the cemetery again, starting in May. The 6th of May, we'll be there and we'll be cleaning, but the Omega Sci-Fi Fraternity will be there this weekend helping us as well. And we thank all who have come out to help us. National Congress of Black Women are also on our list of people who come out to help clean up the slave cemetery. So I just want you to know, those of you who may not know how much we have a slave cemetery in Dumfries, but the town of Dumfries is certainly behind that cemetery and working well with us. What we want to do this year is get a fence put up. So when people come asking you for money for the fence for the Dumfries Slave Cemetery, please say yes. I could say a lot more, but I told them I would be brief. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Fields. Was anybody else that wanted to speak? Then come on. State your name and your business for us, please, Mr. And then Chance, you can follow her to talk about the youth empowerment. Good.
Good evening. My name's Latanya Walker. Thank you, Vice Mayor, for inviting me. I own Tanya's Place, gaming center and entertainment space here in Dumfries. I wrote something, I don't speak publicly. That's one of my downfalls, but I'm getting over it. So again, I'm Tanya from Tanya's Place. I've created a safe space for activities and programs for the community, especially to include the special needs community. I've been in Dumfries since October 2021, building this beautiful place. I've solidified myself as a pillar in this community, as someone who has always and continues to support the community through outreach, free community events and activities. An old adage, build it and they shall come. It takes a village, et cetera, et cetera. Where's my village? I've spoken to everyone who says, that they have something for me or they can come and support. I've never received $1, not a token, no support. I spend upward of $9,000 a month out of my own pocket for your community and in your community. It comes a time when we have to stop passing the buck and come together as a collective for the betterment of all. That's it.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Tell me your name and who you are, please.
My name is Chance Williams. I'm the student representative for the Prince William County School Board, and I'm here to talk about Mayor Wood's Youth Empowerment Town Hall. I was told I would have to speak tonight, so unfortunately I don't have a huge thing prepared, but I would like to thank the town council and Mayor Wood for organizing that event. I truly do believe that they listened to everything we had to say. For those of you who weren't there, weren't aware, Mayor Wood hosted an event where he gathered youth from across the county and across Dumfries to speak on the issues that the youth is facing and how the town could help. And truthfully, I believe that is the first time in a very long time that I've seen adults in power listen. And that is amazing. So as far as I'm aware, I believe this is a reoccurring event, correct, Mayor Wood? Well, then I would like to invite all of you to attend the next one. I'm sure he'll let you know when that is, but thank you. It was an amazing event. It was an amazing opportunity to hear the voice of my colleagues. And I'm not sure if you're aware, but I did bring all the information to the school board meeting on March 1st, and they listened as well. So expect change.
Thank you, Chance. Was there any other citizen that want the opportunity to speak before we move on? The associations? Okay. All right, speak now or forever hold your peace, because we're going to, all right, mayor and council comments. All right, Mr. Brown, do you have any comments tonight, sir?
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to thank Mr. Chance. You did an outstanding job at the youth empowerment. The kids that were around you, they did well also. And the topics that you brought for us to listen to were key. We wanted to make sure that we understood exactly from a younger perspective, what is the need? Many times we as adults tell this generation, not my generation, but this generation, what is what and how it should be. And this is a different environment. And the youth see it from a different perspective. So as he said, we will be doing this again. And once it's announced, I would hope that we get some more adults out there to support our young folks. And I just want to take the time here to thank the council. I don't know if you're aware, but this is an ad hoc council. We have full-time jobs. Full-time jobs. Full-time jobs. But my colleagues here to my left, they put in some time for this town. They're so active, making phone calls after hours, in between lunch breaks, and we all are communicating back and forth this many hours in the day. So I just want to let you all know as a town that this is not something that we take lightly. We're here to support you as much as possible in the means that we can support you, but we need help from that side of the dais also. And we're here to help out wherever we can help out. But again, I just want to thank my colleagues here. Keep doing what you're doing. We all have different perspectives, but we want to win for the town. That's exactly why we're here. We want to win for the town. And we disagree a lot. Not a lot, but some. But we, again, we're here to win for the town. So if you need any help from us, personally or business-wise, if we can support you, please reach out to us. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Mr. Fields.
I'm excited to see this audience full. As many on the council know, I love to see a full audience. I want people to come out. And it also shows one other thing. We care about you. Because with the proclamations, with the awards, and with the thank yous and attaboys, if it wasn't for that, would you know we care? We do care about you. And I can only think about the beautiful ladies that we see in the audience. I can only think about my late mother and how much she was a pioneer in the community with NAACP, SCLC. As someone mentioned about our good friend Jennifer McCullough, who's getting sworn in tonight. She's from the 4th Congressional District. That's the district I grew up in. My mother was part of the 4th Congressional District Voters League, but she was the secretary. So I still got good roots down there. So I'm happy to see everyone. And ladies, moms, grandmothers, aunts, aunties, big mamas, Ma Dukes, there's all y'all out here. I appreciate you. I appreciate you very much. And what you're doing for the young ladies and young women, I appreciate it. Because I'm a girl dad, you know, and yeah, it's from Kobe. And she's doing wonderful things as well. A couple of weeks ago, I celebrated a birthday, number unknown. Those of y'all that came out, thank you. Thank you for coming out, for your support. It was great to be amongst friends. And as someone said, Brian, you surround yourself with very good friends. Thank you. I love it. Going forward, we are into the month of March. We got a lot of events coming up in the future. Stay tuned to these events. As we recall, a few months ago, you know, we were going through some rough times here in the town. And one of the things I said, you know, is we're doing good, but not good enough. And how I advocate for our police department, as I too was an officer here with the police department. On March the 20th, I will be leading a class for the police department in community policing. I consider that my forte. As many of you know, my days on the police department, I was in the community. So it's not open to the public, but I will then, after that, have an event where the public can be involved and we interact with myself and the police department on community policing, because without the community, where do we go? The police need our help. So I will start off with the police department. It's a sort of a one-on-one class with them, and then I'll extend it to the public in the future. So stay tuned. Thank you.
Mr. Pete.
Hello, everyone. Just want to say thank you all, especially to our women of this month, especially to our Black sisters of this month, and especially to our brilliant youth that is coming up in the channels and the pikes. If you haven't had a chance to hear the young lady's speech and her poems, good gracious, you should get with her parents and see if you can get some clips on some of her speeches. She's very good. Chance, I want to say thank you for actually chairing and leading the way in the empowerment event, and you did an excellent job. Like the mayor said, you know, you're on your way to some good. You're shining. So, you know, keep doing what you're doing. You know, and thank you for also taking that up to the the board, because we do need to hear from you guys, you know, and in the future also. And something that we can be excited over is we have a lot of our local areas children that are doing Division I college visits right now, and they're getting some offers. So that's something to be and it's on the sports level. I'm also on the sport and recreational side, and it's something to be very excited of. And they're actually having good grades and everything. That's something that I'm very proud of. And as you know, again, that's something to be proud of, that we have a lot of our kids that will be on TV here and soon on some of those sports channels that we watch on the weekend. And if you want to follow, as the Councilman Fields was saying, that we have a lot of events coming up. If you want to follow on the events that's going on within the town of Dumfries, tune into his Destination Dumfries, correct? Destination Dumfries? Yeah, tune into Destination Dumfries on Facebook. Again, thank you all for coming out, and it's a pleasure to see, you know, the house packed like this, and hopefully we can keep this going. Thank you all again. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, and good evening, everyone. And I know that it is not common practice to call out anybody, but I'm gonna break the rules tonight. So I just want to say to Ms. Latanya, the work you do is important. As a mother of an autistic child, I can just say we see you, we appreciate everything that you're doing in the community, and we hear you. So we did make a pledge as a council that we were going to be about empowering the community moving forward, and we've been taking strides to do that. So I just want to let you know that you're heard. We appreciate you, we see you, and just, you know, stay tuned. Now, additionally, I just want to give everybody an update. A couple months ago, I let everyone know that I attended a legislative update from Congresswoman Spanberger, where she informed us about community funding grants that will be available to the community. But at that time, the process was not released yet because the House was changing leadership, and they had not released the process for how we could apply. Well, there was a follow-up meeting this afternoon. And the new process has been released, and that will include different community funding grants, which will also include a farmer's grant in agriculture. As I mentioned last time, we don't have any farms in our 1.6 square miles, but what it does help with is not affordable, but healthy produce options, bringing things like farmers markets, SNAP programs, and things of that nature. So those instructions have been released. So we will be working to, you know, I'm all about bringing money back from DC into the town of Dumfries. So we will be moving forward with that. Just want to also make sure you want to save your calendar for a couple of key events that we have going on. Last year, myself and the vice mayor teamed up for the first of its kind expungement clinic. And that took place in the Commonwealth. We brought it here to Dumfries. We are coming back for the second annual expungement clinic, which will take place on April 22nd from 9 a.m. to 1 a.m., not 1 p.m. Sorry, not 1 a.m. We will not be there at 1 a.m. I'm sorry. At the Dumfries Rescue Squad. You can follow both of our Facebook pages where there's information. You'll need to pre-register. And last year was very successful. We were able to help give the lives back to people who had been robbed by the justice system for too long. So we're excited to bring that back again. On the following day, on the 23rd, from 2 to 5 p.m. right here at Garrison Park, we're going to have Autism Acceptance Day. So today we're going to celebrate children with autism. It's going to be a family-fun event. Also, Autism Awareness Month is celebrated in April, but we're past awareness. I think we're all aware we need to start accepting and celebrating autism. So we're going to have Autism Acceptance Day on the 23rd from 2 to 5. So hope to see you there. It's a family fun again, and everything is free. So hope to see you there. And Mayor, I will yield back.
All right, thank you. So I was going to speak about the expungement clinic. So thank you. Because you touched on that. To Councilwoman Miles' point, the expungement clinic, that's something that, Chair Pro Tem Miles, that is something that we are very proud of, because as she mentioned, it was historic for us to bring that to the town of Dumfries, because it was a first of its kind event. In that we had, we brought a resource to Virginia in a way that people walked into our clinic and left that clinic feeling empowered with an empowerment that they didn't have before they walked in. Everyone did not walk out with an expunged record, but everyone walked out of that clinic empowered. And that was the point in that clinic. And then there were people who walked out knowing that they had records that were being expunged. And until we did that, no one else was able to provide that type of service to our community, to any community for that matter. And we created a blueprint that moved across the county. And as of this moment, it is moving across Virginia. And we are taking our blueprint to other regions of Virginia. And that's exciting because, as you all know, there are certain communities who are disparaged and need it more than others. And so that is just awesome that we're able to do that. And so you'll see that will continue to grow because that's what we need. And that's why it's so important that we have representation. That's why representation matters. That's why celebrating Women's History Month is important, because we want to take the time to recognize and honor the trailblazers like myself and Councilwoman Miles, who are doing things like that in the communities that are overlooked, the communities that need the representation, who trailblaze and make things happen in ways that other people haven't thought of. Because if it doesn't matter, if it's not impacting them, it doesn't matter to them. So that's why we have to get out there and we have to make the difference sometimes for ourselves. So thank you for continuing to support us. Thank you for being here. Congratulations to all the proclamation recipients this evening, and stay tuned. Thank you, sir.
Well, good evening to everybody, and welcome to Destination Dumfries, place that you don't drive through, but a place that you drive. Absolutely. I'm pleased to welcome you all to tonight's council meeting. Last month, I just want to start out by saying this council had an amazing time together of strategic planning. It was facilitated by the University of Virginia, Weldon Cooper Center for Public Service. And our strategic planning meeting, we had the opportunity not only to strategically plan, but we had the opportunity to hear from our local elected officials, some of our state elected, and we had representation from the federal level who sat down to really build relationships with your elected officials that are here on this dais. And they understand that we want to continue to promote Dumfries as a destination place. So it was a great time of work and retreat for this council. As we begin the month of March, there are so many special celebrations to look forward to. We've heard some tonight. We also celebrate International Women's Day. For those who don't know, is March the 8th. In addition to Women's History Month, we also have the Girl Scouts birthday on March the 12th. How many of you already got your cookies? I heard some. Yep, so the Girl Scouts birthday is on March the 12th. You know, we recognize the Irish. Anybody, I see some green in here. St. Patrick's Day is on March the 17th. Please drink responsibly. The chief would have me say that. The same back. The first day of spring, she thought that was funny, huh? The first day of spring is March the 20th. For our young poet, World Poetry Day is March the 21st. Yeah, she liked that one. And these celebrations really just give us an opportunity to just come together. We just create these celebrations, and it really gives us the opportunity to come together as a community and just to recognize the contributions of so many. We're such a melting pot. We're so rich in achievement. We're so rich in wisdom and knowledge. And so it's an achievement. Now for some save the dates. Now, if you got your pens and paper, take it out because I got a lot of them. All right. Save the date, March 12th to 18th. And check out social media because a lot of this will be on that. It's a Flood Awareness Week. So you'll see what that means up there. Just be aware of flooding season has come. We're about to get into our rainy season because you know April showers bring. Oh, y'all heard that too. Okay, good. We know this Sunday that time, change your clocks. If they don't automatically do it, your time is going to spring forward. We're going to be hosting a community job fair and career expo. If you know anybody looking for work or looking for jobs or looking for some career resources to improve whatever, on the 21st of March, that's March 21st from 11 to 4:30 p.m. at 3800 Grand Park Road to help people connect to their next job opportunity. They can register today online at TOD, that's Town of Dumfries, Job Fair, TOD Job Fair.eventbrite.com. Registration is also open right now for our rape aggressive defense basic physical defense program. Now, that's a mouthful. I'm gonna try that again. The acronym is RADS, but it's Rape Aggressive Defense Basic Physical Defense Program. You know, it's to help you be prepared for whatever could happen to you while you out here. Classes are going to be held I got several dates for y'all, right? In March the 22nd, March the 25th, March the 28th, and March the 31st. Again, at our former rescue squad building located at 3800 Grand Park Road. And if you want to register or get more information about these events, you can email us at events@dumfriesva.gov. Events@dumfriesva.gov. Easter is also around the corner. For those of you who didn't know, it's coming up quick. The town is excited to continue our partnership with Pillard Church. They've been a great partner with us for their annual Easter egg hunt. That's going to be held at our Ginn Memorial Park on Saturday, April the 8th. It's a few weeks away, April the 8th, from 11, it starts at 11 a.m. And usually the eggs go in about 10 minutes. so I say get there at 10:30, right? And just get it because people, I don't know how they know about this. They come from Fredericksburg, they come from all over. So make sure y'all get there early. The egg hunt starts at 11. So what time you get there, that's up to you. All right, it's gonna be at Ginn Memorial Park. Again, that's on Saturday, April the 8th. It's our Easter egg hunt. We have the Public Defender's Office. They're doing a paperback book drive here in Dumfries it's going to be going on from March the 13th all the way through May 15th. We're going to have a collection box here in the lobby. And their mission is to really expand access to a diverse variety of books for people who are incarcerated in Prince William County through community collaboration. So that's the Public Defender's Office. They're going to be doing a book drive. So bring those books here. We'll have a collection box downstairs in our lobby area. Finally, save the date for something that we're all excited about. It's what she was on the call for, trying to get grant money. I need you all to spread the word near and far because our farmers market, we're calling it the market on Main Street, is coming to Dumfries. We're going to have a grand opening. I need to see everybody here at our grand opening Saturday, April 22nd at 9 a.m. We're going to be cutting the ribbon on the farmers market. So Saturday, April 22nd at 9 a.m., the market on the Main. It's a Saturday only market, and it's going to be right here at the Town Hall parking lot, 17739 Main Street. So if you are a vendor or if you know any vendors, applications are now available. They can go online to managemymarket.com. And again, if you need more information, just email and we'll get this to you, events@dumfriesva.gov. Now, as we continue to celebrate all of these special occasions, I want you to just remind you the importance of us all staying connected when we don't see each other. And we can do that through social media. For a lot of the updates are posted. We have Destination Dumfries and the official town of Dumfries on Instagram and both Facebook for you to be able to follow. We are always working to improve our communications with the community. And we want to make sure that you have the latest information on different events, on different initiatives, and the different news that affects you that's coming from your town government. So follow all of our social media accounts, sign up for our newsletter, and just stay informed on what's going on. Additionally, I want to remind you that it's budget time. It's the time of the season that everybody's going through, the school board, the board of county supervisors, and we're getting in the budget. And this is not our budget. This is our budget. It's the community's budget. And we need your input. We need your input. Your feedback is valuable. Your feedback is wanted. Your feedback is needed. We have public presentations and public hearings where you can come share your thoughts and your opinions, how you want to see your tax money used in this community, what type of services, what type of benefits you want your tax money to go to. This is your chance to help shape the future of our town. And we encourage you to get involved, to stay in tune, to watch it and see what's going on. So in conclusion, I leave you with an inspirational quote from Maya Angelou. She said, we may encounter many defeats, but we must not be defeated. Let's continue to work together and overcome any obstacle that's in our way. Thank you for your time and all of your commitment to our community. And with that said, it's time to hear about some money. So we're gonna have a presentation from George Mason Small Business Development Center. We got a presentation from Mr. Tim Johnson, who's the director of their Small Business Development Enterprise. Sir, the floor is yours. How many of y'all want to know about how to get some of this money and got some good businesses there?
Oh, yeah. And how many small business owners do we have in the room?
Oh, that's a good question. How many small?
So always what we're talking about. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Council, for inviting me. I'm way overdue to actually come for a visit. My last visit here was in 2019. I actually did a workshop, I think, in the room next door, and pandemic and everything else really became one of those things that, yeah, I'm way overdue. So just to give you a little background and a little education, when I put this presentation together, it was like, yeah, what is the SBDC or Small Business Development Center program? And oftentimes people don't know who we are and how much assistance we can actually give to our small business community. So I thought I'd give you a little bit of background. The SBDC program for Virginia is actually part of George Mason University. The way it's established is the Small Business Administration provides a large block grant to every state. And in our case, it's George Mason University manages the SBDC network. And so we've created a program called Mason Enterprise. And it's not just the SBDC program, but a number of economic development programs to support the entire Commonwealth. So it starts with the Mason Enterprise, and we have the Virginia SBDC network, and of course, my center, which is the Mason SBDC Center. And what I cover is all Northern Virginia, but what we have is actually 26 centers throughout Virginia to support our small business community. Keep hitting the... All right, let's move over. We also are home to the Virginia PTAC, or also known as the Procurement Technical Assistance Center. They are funded by the Defense Logistics Agency to support all of our government contractors. We also are the home to the Northern Virginia Women's Business Center. That's in Springfield. We also have 5 incubators throughout Northern Virginia. And so one of the things that you would say we drive is really economic impact for the entire Commonwealth of Virginia. And so a couple of the highlights up there, over 40,000 counseling hours, and this is actually in 2021, and over $1.6 billion worth of the economic impact. And of course, that's what we're here for. The great part of it is this was actually at no cost to the business owners. We don't charge for this. It's free of charge. So a little bit about the Mason SBDC, as I mentioned, we're one of 26 centers. My center covers Prince William, Fairfax, Arlington, and Loudoun counties in the cities of Manassas and the city of Fairfax. And primarily what we're here for is providing some great one-on-one counseling. We've got some fantastic subject matter experts to really take a business owner through a process. And really, I think it's really important that one of the statistics that we hear is that if we can start with a business owner as early as possible, they say that 80% of businesses fail after 3 years. Actually, our data shows 80% of those businesses are still in business after 3 years. So we definitely can show a significant impact in our local communities. We have some fantastic workshops. I'm sorry, all you people on that side of the room can't see what was on the screen. I do apologize about that, but we have some fantastic programs, and we get funding directly from our local community. So Prince William County in particular has an MOU with us to provide specific resources for Prince William County small business owners. That's workshops that we conduct, and we currently can counsel anywhere within the county. We've also begun to work directly with the smaller towns. We have recently a new MOU with the town of Herndon and working with one on the town of Vienna, where they say, "Oh, yeah, we would like you to be there in person within our community and work directly with our business owners." So really, what does that mean? No, keep hitting that thing. So, first of all, we're really here to help businesses get started. What are the steps to not just create a business, but make it sustainable? And where we start is really truly understanding the customer that small business owner wants to serve. We certainly get into the world of finance and financial management. One of the biggest failures of small businesses is actually access to capital. And so we actually prepare our business owners to secure bank loans or look for grants. By the way, Prince William County has 2 active grants that are part of the America's Rescue Plan, specifically earmarked for small business. One is the Restaurant Revitalization Grant, and another is called the Ignite Grant, which is looking to bring startup technology companies into the county, and there's specific funding for that. And of course, marketing, and we think marketing is how you really get get to your customer. And we really start with something right in the middle of that we call value proposition design. Because if we don't know who we're selling to, then we're missing that opportunity. So we really start at the basic level and truly understand, who's your customer and what value do you add to them, and how do you compete in this marketplace? Of course, we get into some of the operational areas like accounting and HR and IT and all the back office kinds of things. We even get into cybersecurity. One of our missions that the SBA asks of us is actually to provide cybersecurity awareness for small businesses, because we are targets, and we want to keep you in business, and we want to bring best practices into how to conduct the work in the marketplace, and of course. When we're really thinking about how you might start a business, it could be a franchise. You may own a business, or you want to acquire one. These are things that we can directly support you with. And so we also have some really great expertise out there. So obviously technology, George Mason University, I believe is ranks #1 as the fastest growing research institution, public university in the country. And so pretty proud about that. But government contracting, did you know, and I'm sure you know, that a good part of Dumfries is actually in a hub zone. So you have the opportunity to stand up certified hub zone businesses that have significant contracting opportunities. Requires that the businesses there and some of the employees also come from hub zones, and we work directly with in supporting that. Of course, we get the professional services businesses, construction contracting, very vital area. We get into all these other technology areas, and of course, retail, restaurant, and even entertainment. So these are all areas where our counselors all have subject matter expertise in supporting these types of businesses. So when we think also about really the kinds of things that we like to do. It's also education and training. So we have some fantastic workshops that are all free of charge. We're doing them all now on Zoom, and these are very educational in nature, and that is a lead to oftentimes one-on-one counseling once you attend some of these, and it does really deep dives into a lot of these certainly these topic areas. And we are also doing a series of cohorts where we want to be in person and do programs to take entrepreneurs through a series of classes and literally make that a network. We did one in we're actually right in the middle of one doing it for minority businesses for the Washington Airport Authority, and they said, let's stand up a small business university and take them through a 9-week program that's going to make them a much better contractor, not to mention eligible to do work at the Airport Authority. We also did one about a year and a half ago with Prince William County. We held it just up the road in Woodbridge at the Brickyard. We had 17 entrepreneurs that we took through a startup whole series and kind of see the level of training that we often go through. And of course, we also do some smaller cohorts, these 3 to 5 week cohorts. Just did one in City of Manassas last year. So I would say all you need to do is ask. We can do one here. So when we think about our support for Prince William County, one of the things that we're being measured on and what the SBA is asking us to do is literally report back on how our tax money is actually put to use. So if you actually look at some of the statistics up there, we counseled nearly 800 small businesses since 2000, just in Prince William County alone. $33 million in capital investment, supported a significant number of jobs. But one of the things that is really striking, and one of the things that we learned is we rank actually number 1 in support of minority small businesses. We were up over 70% of our small business owners are minority. But I thought I'd also give you the town of Dumfries as well. And again, this is data that I can provide you at any time. And this is, again, looking at how we support your small business. A great number up there, 91% of our small business owners here are minority. And so we find that that if we can certainly, you would say, rise all tides, floats all boats. So that's really what we're here for. Probably the last thing I sort of want to say is President Washington has his own proclamation about George Mason University, and he says any citizen of Virginia can come to George Mason University and get a bachelor's degree, but any citizen in Virginia can start a business at George Mason University. So with that, I thank you very much.
Thank you. I got a fun fact because I got out in the lobby area in that glass, there's a brown ledger in there that George Mason signed when he came to Dumfries to buy some goods and service because we were one of the leading ports. So that's good. But Council, any questions? That was a great presentation. Vice Mayor?
Thank you. That was really a great presentation. What stood out to me was the information about the Dumfries economic impact, where you say that there are 66 clients, you've had 66 clients from the town of Dumfries since 2020.
That's correct.
That is pretty good information. I didn't realize that. Tell me about what type of grants you all have for small businesses. That and how does that work? Is there a place on your website, or do you help small businesses like apply for grants?
Yeah, so actually all of the above. Well, not so much on our website. The grants tend to be a bit fluid. What we do keep is a database of active grants across the country where small businesses may be eligible. We certainly support all the research grants. That's the Small Business Innovative Research Grant Program that's funded by the federal government, and they put billions of dollars into often technology research, and that's literally every agency. And we have a program called the Innovation and Commercialization Assistance Program, specifically to help those that are really thinking about, I've got a technology, how do I commercialize it? And often the grant programs are there. We also work typically directly with our local, in our case in Prince William County, Department of Economic Development. They're utilizing the America's Rescue grant funding that they have, and they're pouring that right now into small business grants in support of that. We help them design the program, and even through the CARES Act, a number of the grant programs that were out there, we definitely supported. It tends to be local, so we would say, and I think there was a mention earlier that there are grants that Spanberger, Representative Spanberger, were talking about, and bringing that down to the local community. When we can use that for small business, we would always look to see if we could take advantage of that.
Do you all offer any maybe free grant writing courses or information like that? Because even if there are grants available, one of the problems that you see, especially in minority communities, is when it comes to grant availability, grants may be out there, but there's a challenge when it comes to knowing how to write to earn these grants. So do you all offer any sort of assistance with writing grant classes or something like that so that these people can apply for the grants?
So yes, we do in the training side of things. So we partner with Virginia Innovation Partnership Corporation, known as VIPC. Used to be called CIT. They have a whole series on grant writing, often specifically towards some of the SBIR grants. When we are looking at other types of local grants, we get involved. Perhaps maybe not to write the grant on their behalf, but to review the grant, make sure it is a compliant submission. We certainly work with them on the cost submission side, but we often work with our public libraries as well as a source. Our Woodbridge Library, they also provide direct support. Unfortunately, we can't write a grant for somebody, but we certainly have a long list of grant writers that we can recommend that would potentially be willing to work with them.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Brown.
So thank you for your presentation. This took me about 19 years back. We had your George Mason come out and do a course for us at Veterans Affairs. And all of this information is, I guess, maybe not known to the public that is available for free. So when it comes to small businesses and startup and people who wants to start a business, there's some background that you really need to understand to start the process off. Because if you mess that up, you're going to end up turning around doing it again. So please take advantage of these resources that are out there. All you have to do is call and set up an appointment.
And that's as simple as our website button that says request counseling. And we have a coordination team that will set you up with a counselor to take you through through your issues and help design a really good business plan.
So thank you. So they've been around for a long time. That's basically what I'm saying. Use them.
Ditto. I couldn't have said it no better. Take advantage, especially if you want to start a business. You in a business, you want a refresher on how to get some of these programs. Go to their website. Thank you for taking time out. Appreciate Department of Commerce and Labor for keeping this in their budget and continuing to fund these programs. So we appreciate your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, council, I'm gonna put you on a 10-minute stretch break. So we'll come back here at 25 after. Nelson? Can't give people a stretch break because then they take a nap. All right, next on our agenda is the mid-year budget review. We're going to have our finance director, Ms. Kimberly Goodwin. The floor is yours.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. For the mid-year budget review, the town is currently watching the labor market, which is growing strong, and watching consumer confidence improving year over year. Unemployment rate is at 3.4%, which is slightly below pre-pandemic. For the real estate market, Virginia is ranked 12th amongst the 50 states and growing faster than the national average. Currently, the sales have slowed down due to the rising mortgage rates. Hotel revenue has surpassed 2019. Hotel rooms has increased by 5% in January of 23 compared to 2019. Key highlights for the town revenue: DMV revenue has exceeded budget by 50%. Customer Service Center is working with Richmond headquarters, title companies, and local dealers. Franchise tax, we received a deferred payment that increased the budget by 100%. Building and permit fees, due to the Rose project, it has increased to 22%, which is building and permits and site plans. Expenditures are going as planned. In administration, utilities are up and exceeded budget due to high inflation. In performance management, we adopted the financial policy back in October 22, which exceeded budget, and also utilizing the HR consultant for performance management and recruitment. Fund balance, which is a town net worth in fiscal year 22, we increased by 15% compared to fiscal year 21. This includes the tax abatement that was approved by council in April of 22. For spending, the administration department hired 2 employees, a staff accountant for finance and a customer service assistant manager. For PD, the overtime is trending due to the PD being short-staffed and also due to participation in community events, extra hours in response to recent homicides. Destination Dumfries, the line item, we utilize a donation for Project Mend a House, and also the promotional video for development in the town, development for the town. Any questions?
Hey, council, any questions on the finance report? Mr. Brown?
So the overtime for PD, is
Yes.
that consistently the same amount per month?
We're 110%.
The overtime amount,
Yes.
it could vary depending on any type of events that they have. If certain holidays, so it just varies throughout the month.
So my understanding, we're spending more with overtime pay.
That is correct.
And you're saying it's based upon the events that we are having and some of the calls that.
The community events that the police department participates in. So for example, the farmers market, Shop with a Cop for Christmas, and I think Gospel in Blue. Yes, I'm sorry, in the Christmas parade.
Okay.
And also the recent homicides that happened in the recent months that exceeded the overtime.
So I'm not concerned with the budget piece. I'm more concerned with the personnel piece. So I'll
Yes.
speak with the mayor about.
Right. So we are currently short-staffed. They are down 3. In the PD, they just recently hired one that just got hired this week.
Okay, thank you.
Vice Mayor?
Mayor, may I ask the chief to come to the podium, please? Good evening, Chief.
Good evening.
I asked you to the podium to ask about the overtime. My question about the overtime is I want to understand with the support that we are supposed to receive from Prince William County Police Department as a resource, because we are taxpayers here in the town of Dumfries to Prince William County, and Prince William County Police is supposed to be a resource for us here as taxpaying constituents. So I want to understand how Prince William County Police support us. Because if you all are participating, this is a budget question, because if you all are participating in town events, causing other officers to work beyond their shift, therefore having to be paid overtime, right? See how this is a budget question? So while some officers are working events, other officers are having to do overtime in order to cover the shift that regular officers are now not doing. Where does Prince William County Police come in? Is this an area where they could potentially come in and help cover shifts so that we're not having to spend the additional money for overtime?
So one thing that Prince William did this past year is they started charging to assist the town with community events. So for the Christmas parade.
I'm sorry, did you say Prince William County is charging the town of Dumfries to help us cover shifts? Is that what you said?
If it's a detail, yes. If it's an off-duty detail, the town is now charged. This happened the last Christmas parade is when they started.
So are they charging to work the parade or are they charging to cover shifts?
To work the parade.
Okay, so does it matter if they come to work the parade versus coming to cover a shift, because we're short staffed on the shift because you all are working the parade?
Right. So if we're short staffed, they'll be dispatched the calls and they'll have to respond because none of us are available to respond.
So they would charge you or us to respond to a call if you all are working the parade. So if we don't call them to work the parade because Dumfries PD is working a parade, but then they're called to respond to a call, would they charge us to respond to the call?
No, they don't charge us to respond to the calls.
So you see what I'm getting at here?
Yes.
Because we don't need them to come work the parade if they would charge us for that, because you all can work the parade.
Right.
But then if they would come to respond to the call, then that seems to me like an answer to the overtime.
And so the way the overtime is lined up for us, if we're working the overtime, we're adjusting. So when the Christmas parade in the morning, the night shift obviously has to adjust or stay later. But what the overtime rate is for basically what our officers are working is usually around $45, $46 an hour for the overtime rate. It's the same thing we'd be paying Prince William to come and work an off-duty detail.
But why would they be working in off-duty detail? That's the part I'm confused about.
I don't want them unless we need them for the manpower. Is the only reason we would call them to assist us is if we needed the manpower to assist.
Okay, so I'm a little confused by that because again, and this is not, for you, and the reason why this is a budget question for me is because if we're paying this money in overtime and we have Prince William County Police as a resource that we pay for, this is why this is a question for me. So I'm trying to understand this. I don't know how we get to the bottom of this. Is this something that we need to do more research on? Is this something, how do we figure this out? I want to understand this.
If I may, real quick on the overtime issue. So we budgeted, I think, 39,000 last year. And when officers are working holidays, that comes out of the overtime budget. So the more officers that we have working that, obviously, as the pay increases, that cuts into the $39,000. So there's 14 town events or town holidays. So when we have those officers working 14 town holidays, that is cutting I think today I did the math, it's about $25,000, $26,000 just to cover the holiday pay that comes out of the overtime budget. And I reached out to some other agencies in the area, Manassas Park, for example, they have 33 officers that get overtime there. Their budget is $235,000 in the overtime budget. Occoquan, they pay pretty much 10% of an officer's salary is what they implement into their budget for overtime per officer. And then obviously when sergeants have overtime, they get paid more. So we really under budget for the overtime in the town. So
I also, I'm sorry, excuse me. I also want to add in fiscal year 21 and fiscal year 22, PD overtime was over budget as well with the same issue. The only time that it wasn't over budget was in 20 and 21 due to the pandemic. But with the recent increases of community events, that's also added on to their overtime, including holiday.
So if I may finish my thought process here. So what I need to understand then as a taxpayer is where the line is drawn and what we are entitled to as far as support and resources from Prince William County Police Department. That's what I need to
When
understand.
it was first brought to my attention, I addressed the town manager about that. I didn't think it was right that we should be paying Prince William to assist in the town where the citizens are paying him. That's above, my pay grade, but I definitely think it's unfair for us from the town having to pay officers to come and assist in they still patrol, they still come and write tickets, they still answer calls. So to come in and say, we can do this part, but we're not going to do this part for you, I think is unfair to the town.
Yeah, I think what the vice mayor is saying, instead of your guys having to work late just to have the Prince William County to come do coverage instead of doing the events, is that what?
Right, that's what I'm asking. I'm not asking for them to come and work the events because I understand that they would want to charge for it. I get that part. I'm not asking them to come work our events. Your guys work the events.
Right.
I'm asking about them coming to cover a shift because if all of your guys got the stomach bug, right? Because there's a bug going around. So if all of your guys got the stomach bug and Prince William County had to send a crew in to cover all 13 of your guys, are they going to charge us for that? No.
That they would correct.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So if all of your guys are working events and they come in to cover the crew because they're all out, there should be no charge for that. So that's what I'm saying. That's the workaround because we're not calling them to come in and work a parade. We're calling them to come in and work a shift.
Correct. And I think the thing with that is not to speak for Prince William, but we have to adjust our schedule to make some of these events happen, such as we can't work from 6 p.m. until noon or 1 the next day to handle the Christmas parade. But you're not going to get the presence in the town, I think, that the town officers are patrolling. So sometimes for the 24 hours, 7 days a week coverage that we try to give the best that we can, you might not get that same effort from Prince William County. I'm not saying they will or they won't. They will obviously still respond to calls, but as far as being pro, and they're short staffed as well, and they're very busy on the east end as well. So
it sounds to me like something that should be able to be worked out.
I agree.
So we are planning a meeting with Supervisor Bailey in her office. Town manager, interim town manager, can we add that to the agenda for discussion so that we can have that figured out? Because I think that's a discussion worth having. We need to understand that. Thank you. And thank you, Chief.
Okay. Anything else for me?
That I'm done.
All right. Was there any other questions on the budget? Or
thank you.
Yeah, I think it's definitely an important topic. Now, is it I guess my question is about, are they the only department that's hourly rate versus salary?
That is correct.
So, and is that customary across all police departments, that is hourly versus salary?
Yes.
Our teachers get a salary and they be working some hours for it. I know my wife being there for some hours and
Yeah.
I wish she could get overtime.
It's usually police and fire are the ones that are hourly due to their work schedule because they have varies of work schedule. That's why they're hourly.
Okay. Well, I'm just trying to figure it because I didn't realize that we had a hourly work staff, and now seeing that type of budget, so that's like a awareness that, so I guess in planning and forward, do we need to realign more money for overtime, I guess, going forward for the rest of the year? Because we got Easter coming up, which is a federal holiday. We got Memorial Day in May. And so we got a couple of holidays, which they said their holiday pay comes out of. overtime. How come we don't budget their holiday pay in their salaries versus over? I guess it's becoming to get a little bit confusing. Why don't we budget holiday pay in their salaries versus doing it in overtime? Help me understand it, because we're taking what the chief said, 25,000 for overtime every single year for the 14 holidays, right? I'm just getting this, I'm doing my math real fast, and we're taking that out of overtime rather than building it into their salaries. We know that these holidays are coming and certain officers are going to work it.
Because they get paid, when they work that holiday, they get paid overtime for that day. So that's why it's in overtime.
All right. Go ahead.
And you probably won't have this information with you right now. You can probably email me later.
Okay.
But the last couple of years that we've been over budget with overtime, could you email me the average of what it's been per year?
Yes.
Because I think with police work, overtime is kind of like a cost of doing business. But I do think this is not really a budget comment. I do think we need to understand more about what level of support we can expect from Prince William County, so that we can plan accordingly moving forward. But then also I think budget wise, if we are planning for 39,000 and every year we're spending 60, we probably need to look at maybe spending 60 and seeing what we need to do.
Correct.
So yes, that's my own thing. If you could just get that information to me, please.
Will do.
Thank you.
Yeah, no. Okay. I just go through some of my revenue questions because I don't know if you have wrote down. If she had got a list of the questions I asked last time, I'll just repeat them. And then you can just go through. We budgeted FY 23, and I know this is on the agenda, but I'm just gonna ask the same questions again. We budgeted 450,000 for the American Rescue Plan Act.
Yes, that has to be amended.
Okay. So we're gonna do that later. We're gonna schedule a public hearing later on.
Correct.
Okay. What is in our current fund balance today? Was that on the slide?
That was for, that's from the auditors. That was for fiscal year 22. It was $1,602,553.
I'm sorry. You said our fund balance is what?
Excuse me, did I say million? I meant 5 million. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to make people panic. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. Believe me, you would have known before then. It's 5 million.
Okay. Okay. The audit, can we get an update on when, because usually in February we get an audit?
Yes, so the auditors are running behind due to new GASB rules that have come to local government. So we are not the only locality that is currently behind, but hopefully I should receive the audit by sometime mid next week, the draft of the audit.
Any updates in our budget, the funding for the Affordable Housing Initiative? I don't know if anybody can speak to that one. We had that in our budget mid-year. Is that something that we're going to accomplish this year, or is that something we can move funding around from?
I think for the affordable housing program, is for codes and updates, and we'll carry over after the comprehensive plan is reviewed and updated.
So we won't get to the rest of that funding for the year. I don't know, Jonah, if you want to speak to it. No.
I cannot.
Okay, all right. You have an add-on?
Yeah, I just have a question. So you said that those funds will be moved over when the comprehensive plan is updated. So that's not going to happen before the end of fiscal year, but you can't move money between fiscal years?
No, you can't move money in between fiscal years.
Okay, so that's.
You can carry over from a prior year to a current fiscal year.
So it's okay. So it's I'm sorry. I'm just trying to understand. So I'm thinking, once 2 years over, that line of appropriation is dead. So
I'm sorry, for which line item are you
for
just?
the Affordable Housing Initiative, but you're saying we can.
I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to do some research on this, but I this is not considered like a CIP line. This is considered a line that we just budgeted every year for. But I'll have to talk to the principal planner to get more information on that.
Okay, all right, got it. Thank you.
This is probably a public works question here, or acting town manager. In public works, we budgeted, one of the highlights was funding to support additional facilities. I don't know what that was, but I'm looking in the budget book, sorry, I know. You know,
I believe that might be the rescue squad.
okay, so that's what, okay. All right, and then we got the stormwater. All right, so now the last thing was on the positions for the police department. You talked to the two administrative positions, one went to finance and one went downstairs to our customer service DMV.
Correct.
And we thought we budgeted for an additional 5 police officers at 14 out of 9. And so where are we at with funding on and we're down, actually, not just 5, but we're down, according to this, we'd be down 8.
So we're technically budgeted for the current staff in the police department plus an additional officer.
So different, so 16 and not an extra 5.
Right.
So, okay, which we probably won't need the other 4 going into the rest of this year anyway. We probably won't do no higher.
We won't be able to hire.
Okay.
Right. And we just recently hired a police officer. 3 police officers left the agency to go to different agencies. So we're kind of like replacing those positions with new officers.
Okay. All right, I will yield the floor. Anybody else had any budget questions before? Okay, Vice Mayor, sorry.
Did I hear you say that the contractor was included in administration for performance management?
And the HR consultant?
Yes.
Yes, under performance management.
Okay, is that standard that contractors are included in, because it's the HR contractor? So the contractor is included in performance management, which is typically a staff area. Because performance management is typically, and this is a discussion that we had before, but performance management is typically a term reserved for bonuses and things of that nature. So is it typical that you would put a contractor or funding for a contractor under what's typically reserved for performance bonuses?
Well, I think it's just the way that we named the category. We just called it performance management to better the town in HR regulations. I see your point of that, but that's the way that we name for the HR consultant to separate and be able to analyze the performance of the town related to HR policies and procedures and bring the town up to speed with the HR consultant, with the support of the HR consultant.
So are bonuses in that same bucket of money?
No.
So what is the bucket of money where bonuses come out of called?
That is in the line with salaries.
Oh, okay, that's different and confusing. Okay. Do we have an option of rearranging that? Or I mean, as far as what it's called, because that is rather confusing and abnormal.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Just for ease of understanding.
Understood.
Thank you.
Yes.
So I guess the last line item would be 10-4-12, 6,000, which is your IT maintenance contracts. I think as of the I don't know the date on this one. This is my January. I don't know if this is January or December. But we were expensed at 100%, 104% there. Do we have contracts that we still need to pay, or are we good to go?
We will have additional contracts that we need to pay.
All right, so what are your recommendations now based on your mid-year for us to do? What action are you asking us?
Well, we usually stop spending around the 15th of May. But what we do for mid-year is see what we can spend at this point, and then up until May 15th, that's when we stop spending and wait until the fiscal year, the following fiscal year to start spending again. Because we look at the budget to see where we stand and we hold off until the next fiscal year.
So based on where we're at in the budget now, are there any actions that have to be taken in this current budget?
When you mean actions,
Based on like some of the categories where we're over expense right now?
yes, for example, in performance management, we adopted the financial policy. I believe that was unexpected. We budgeted for a certain dollar amount, but yes, 30,000, and we exceeded that amount because the financial policy that was adopted was more than that amount, and including the HR consultant that is working with us with recruitment and HR policies.
So do you understand, I guess, what I'm asking?
Yes.
All right, so I'm asking about like what actions are, so when we see when we pull the next expense report and budget, what actions are going to be taken so that when we look at this budget, we're not over expense?
We're going to have to move money around to allocate for other funding that's exceeded the budget amount.
All right. Council, any other questions on that? Intern Town Manager, any comments, any remarks?
No, not at this time.
Okay. All right. Seeing no further questions, that will end our mid-year presentation. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, next is our action items, which is a public hearing. There's an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2022 to 2023 budget in the amount of $240,000 for a capital improvement project for the outdoor fitness court as part of the 2023 National Fitness Campaign. And so we first, Town Manager, you want to speak to it before?
The cost of the fitness court is about $270,000. We estimated that amount to include the installation of the court, as well as a concrete pad and some other expenses. And then there's an additional $70,000 that we have proposed for site work, equipment storage, and labor that wasn't included in the price. The national grant that we received was $30,000 toward that total price. So the total amount that the town will have to expend is $240,000.
So not 240 plus 70, 240 altogether is 170 plus 70. 170 plus you're putting 70 in for
Yes, it's
contingency.
170,000
Plus 70
plus
for
70.
for
Yes.
contingency. Yeah, she was trying to add.
Did I say?
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah.
No, ma'am.
Yeah, so you just got
Just 240,000.
contingency so that you don't have to
Yes.
come back and do any
Yes.
case.
We don't expect to spend $240,000. We hope that the site is forgiving enough where we can put down 4 inches of concrete and not have to build up a stump. But as you know, in that area, we could encounter some underground issues. And this is just to cover what may happen should the contractor come out and dig. I also want to just explain the equipment storage. When we receive the equipment, they just come and dump it. So we have to put it in a storage unit until the installers come and install the equipment. And it's about 3,000 pounds worth of equipment. So we have to have a contractor that has special equipment to help us take it in, put it in the box, take it out the box, and then install it.
Ms. Pete, you have a question? Yes, how long would that take? Is there a time duration during the drop off and the installation?
I tried to contact the company that we're getting the equipment from, and she was not, didn't give me the access to the installers yet. So I don't have an answer for you yet to know how long it will take.
Okay.
If I were to guess, I'd say the longest might be after the pad is in. It shouldn't take more than 3 weeks. For what I know, it may take only 2 days because they are trained. And so when they come out, they already know they've done it over and over again multiple times. So they're efficient at it. They're more efficient at it than if I were to hire a contractor to try to piece it together like IKEA furniture and not know what he's doing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And go ahead, Mr. Brown.
So are we talking 70K for storage of the?
No.
Okay, okay, all right, 'cause I have a.
No, this is just for like a pod, and like I said, includes the pod, the contractor, and any overages that we may encounter because he has to hire more labor or use a special piece of equipment to get a stump out of the ground, or something like that.
I know, Mr. Brown. I said put it in the rescue squad bay, but she said she didn't want them to have to go up the hill. So it's supposed to, no, that's not what it is. But I want to give some guidelines. I mean, not guidelines, some milestones for you, Pete, that was submitted with it. Once the public hearing, and if the council so votes for this to get funded, the shipment it could take anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks once they know that the funding is authorized. So a shipment date for storage. Then the install in concrete, depending on the weather, can be April to May, depending on our contractors when we start the site work. Once that the concrete is in there, installation is pending. It takes roughly about they like for the concrete to cure for 28 days. Let me say that. So they look for 28 days for concrete to cure before they install a fitness court. And then to assemble it, like she said, it only takes a couple of days. The team comes out, they confirm the timeline, and depending on the weather, it's installed by May or June. And then we can have a big launch ceremony, June, July timeframe, cut the ribbon, bring out the news stations, and you get out there with Mr. Fields and y'all show us how it's done.
Along with the rest of the council.
He said along with the rest of the council. All right, so that's kind of your milestones on that project.
Thank you, man.
All right. Any other questions on the presentation of the funding? Oh, what is your funding source?
The funding source will come from the general fund.
Okay, general fund.
Yes.
All right. Seeing no further discussions from the council, I will now open this up for public comment period. Okay, it's now open. Were there any citizens who signed up in advance? All right. Were there any, they're looking, were there any citizens that wanted to speak to the fitness court installation? Oh, she has a written statement. All right.
Good evening.
Good evening. State your name for the record, please.
So, Annette Newman. So the questions I have, I don't know if I can ask questions regarding what you just talked about the budget. Can I?
You could just make your statement.
Make my statement? Okay.
Yeah, we'll get it.
So, is it Vice Mayor? Okay, so when you were talking about the overtime for the officers.
I'm sorry, wait a second. This is the public hearing for us to amend the funds for the fitness court.
For the fitness? Okay.
This public hearing is just for comment on us appropriating funds
Okay,
to build an outdoor fitness court
okay, I got a comment on that too.
between Ginn Memorial Park and
Got you.
3800 Grand Park Road on that field. So I just want to make sure. So this public hearing is specific for us allocating funds to build an outdoor fitness court. All right, I
Okay.
reset your time.
Okay, so with the fitness center, so you're saying it's gonna cost 240,000, and we have 30,000 that's in extra money sitting there in case we need it. So, and you're saying that we gotta store this equipment, right? No? Oh, got you. Okay, so you say, we gotta store the equipment. My thing is, can they not hold the equipment until everything is done? And then two, if we gotta store it, why couldn't we use the fire department that is there to put it in? So, and the other thing is with the park being built up, will there be cameras out there at the park? Also. I think that's all I have.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
Was there anyone else that wanted to speak at this public hearing for the National Fitness Court to allocate funding? Okay, seeing none at this time, I will close the public hearing. All right, council comments. All right, Vice Mayor.
Jonay. Oh, excuse me, interim town manager. For the benefit of the public, do me a favor, please. With regard to this, can you please clearly state the total cost for this park? After you state the total cost, please state how much of that is being provided by grant funding? How much of that is built-in contingency? How much of that is storage costs? And where the funding is coming from? Thank you.
Okay, I apologize. I was writing, and so I might have missed some of the questions that you asked for me to state. The total cost is,
Well, I'm sorry, would you like me to repeat it? Because I just want to make sure that it's smooth, because when you did it the first time, it was a little confusing. So we want to know the total cost upfront. Okay, and then within that total cost, then please break down how much of that is grant funded? How much of that is, damn, I forgot what I said. How much of that is, what'd you say? How much of that is, hold on, y'all, I got this. How much of that was what? How much of that was storage cost? How much of that is contingency funded or contingency funding? And where the funding is coming from? Okay, thank you.
okay. The total cost of the program is $170,000. We are receiving a $30,000 grant. The contingency is $70,000. And the funding is coming from the general fund.
And the storage?
The storage is included in the contingency cost.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So I just want to look at this resolution to see it, and Ms. Pandek can look at this resolution too, as we look at this to make sure that we got all of these numbers right. And maybe I'll read it so everybody know we're looking at. Whereas the Town Council of Dumfries has committed to being a healthy eating, active living community by identifying in the resolution recreational programs. And supporting recreational programs that encourage active living since 2014 pursuant to Council Resolution R 2014-19. And whereas the town of Dumfries has been awarded a $30,000 national grant from the town's National Fitness Campaign Grant Committee and statewide partners towards the total cost of equipment and installation. And whereas the town plans to promote and implement a free to the public outdoor fitness court in alignment with its 2014 comprehensive plan to provide recreational opportunities for all ages and residents within our town. And whereas the total estimated cost with the concrete pad and installation, including the $70,000 worth of site work for equipment storage and labor. Okay, that's what a number, that should be 240 and not 270.
No, so the 270,000 includes the contingency. So Sharon and I were going back and forth about how to make it clear because it is confusing. So I can't say the total cost is 270 for just the equipment side. The 270 includes the contingency. Yeah,
Okay, so you just didn't take the grant off.
I did take the grant off. It's 240 with the grant off.
Okay. Whereas the public hearing was noticed and advertised to amend the fiscal year 2022-23 budget in that amount in accordance with Virginia Code 15.2-2507, even though no 1% change in the budget is being made, it's just being moved into a different category. Now therefore be it ordained by the Dumfries Town Council hereby accepts the grant from the National Fitness Campaign and amends the budget to move $240,000 from the general fund to Park Improvement Fund and appropriate those funds for fitness court park improvements in the amount of $240 plus the $30,000 grant. All right, Ms. Panic, you had your light on. You had comments?
I was just waiting to see if you had questions, so I was.
No, I guess we added it all in. No, Hakuna Matata. No.
Do you want me to restate it again?
No, I just
Okay.
read it. I just want to go with what's read on the paper.
Okay.
In motion.
Oh, it's been motioned by Councilman P. Second by the Vice Mayor. Any further discussion on this ordinance to accept budget and appropriate funds for outdoor fitness court as part of the 2023 National Fitness Campaign on the motion made by Councilman P. and second by Vice Mayor. Mr. Brown, discussion.
Okay.
All right. Seeing no further discussion, the Vice Mayor, you had a. Okay, I'm just checking. You was ready to vote. All right, Mr. Brown, you had.
Nope. ready to
Okay.
vote.
All right. It looks like everybody's ready to vote.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go with Mr. Brown,
Yes.
Mr. Pete,
Yes.
Ms. Miles,
Aye.
Mr. Fields,
Yes.
Vice Mayor.
Yes.
That's a yes for me. That motion carries 6-0. You made it through that one. All right. I just want to say, for the sake of them, there are already cameras out there. I just want to say that because we didn't, I wanted to answer your question. There are already cameras out there. So, and there's Wi-Fi and all that other good stuff. So we watching. I wrote that down. You had questions about the camera. All right. And I think it got a sign up that said we're recording their cameras. So there's signage up. All right, next on our agenda. Wait a minute, I done lost my agenda. D.
After public hearing.
I just started pulling out paper. All right, next on the agenda is a resolution authorizing the intern town manager to advertise a public hearing to consider an ordinance amending the fiscal year 2022-23 budget in the amount of $3,499,958.68 for ARPA funding. Public hearing date to be set March 21st, 2023. Town manager?
This is the final, the $3,499,000 is the final installment of our ARPA funding, and the $427,871 is a rollover from last year's ARPA funding.
Okay, council, any questions? All right, seeing no questions, it's procedure to schedule a public hearing. What'd you say, Mr. Brown?
Second.
Okay, it's been motioned and second to schedule a public hearing for March the 21st, 2023, so that we can amend our fiscal year 2022-23 budget in the amount listed for the ARPA funding. With a motion made by the Vice Mayor, second by Councilman Pete. Seeing no further discussion, I'll call for the question. Mr. Pete?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Yes.
Mr. Fields?
Yes.
Ms. Miles?
Aye.
Vice Mayor?
Yes.
And that's a yes for me. That motion carries 6-0. Next on the agenda is a resolution to support the restoration of transportation for children to the Boys and Girls Club and to reconsider school zone changes. Councilwoman Miles, the floor is yours.
Yeah. Thank you, Mayor. So this resolution was brought about because we received a report from the Boys and Girls Club that the students at Dumfries Elementary were no longer being provided transportation to the Boys and Girls Club. And that was a little alarming because we do provide a scholarship and we noticed a significant decrease in membership to the club. And it's because we have a transportation barrier. Now, what has happened is because Dumfries Elementary has been drawn out of the zone for the Boys and Girls Club, because it's been zoned out of the zone for the Boys and Girls Club, transportation is no longer provided by Prince William County Schools. What we're asking the school board to do is to reconsider that, because this is an activity that has been provided to our students from the town council. We have a long-standing partnership with the Boys and Girls Club, and we would like to see that restored so that our children continue to have a safe and a healthy environment where they can thrive and grow. So we are submitting this, passing this resolution. Hopefully we'll pass this resolution and submit it to the school board for consideration. So I will get started now. Yeah, no. Oh. Whereas the Town Council of Dumfries has received a report from the Boys and Girls Club indicating a significant decrease in attendance due to changes in school zoning that have impacted transportation available to children in the town of Dumfries. And whereas prior to recent zoning changes, Prince William County Schools provided a school bus that dropped off students from Dumfries Elementary School to the Boys and Girls Club after school, but this service is no longer available to them. And whereas the town of Dumfries has a longstanding partnership with the Boys and Girls Club and provides a scholarship for town of Dumfries residents to attend the club free of charge. And whereas these changes in zoning have made it difficult for children in Dumfries to access the resources that the Boys and Girls Club provides, which has resulted in a significant decrease in enrollment and participation. And whereas the Town Council of Dumfries recognizes the importance of ensuring that children have access to safe and positive resources, especially during the post-pandemic period, where they are facing mental health trauma and being overly exposed to violence. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Town Council of Dumfries, Virginia supports the restoration of transportation for children in Dumfries to the Boys and Girls Club so that they can continue to benefit from the services provided by the club. Be it further resolved that the Town Council of Dumfries requests that consideration be given to Triangle Elementary School as children from both the Port of Dumfries and Town Square neighborhoods were removed from Dumfries Elementary and assigned to Triangle Elementary in conjunction with the recent changes in zoning. Be it further resolved that the Town Council of Dumfries request that the Prince William County Schools reevaluate the changes in school zoning and work with the Town Council to find solutions that will ensure that children in Dumfries have access to safe and positive resources that will help them grow and thrive as young adults. Be it further resolved that the Town Council of Dumfries will communicate this resolution to the Prince William County Schools, the Boys and Girls Club, and other relevant parties to advocate for the restoration of transportation and the reconsideration of school zoning changes. This resolution shall become effective March 7th, 2023 by order of council. So I would like to make a motion to approve.
Okay, it's been motioned, it's been seconded and read. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing no discussion, I'll call for the question. Ms. Miles?
Aye.
Mr. Fields?
Yes.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Mr. Pete?
Yes.
Vice Mayor?
Yes.
That's a yes for me. That motion carries 6-0. All right. Next on our agenda is, closed session. Discuss one personnel matter relating to the consideration of prospective candidates for the new town manager pursuant to Virginia Code 2.2-3711 Alpha 1. On the motion made by me. Second by Mr. Brown. Any discussion? Seeing none, I call for the question. Mr. Pete?
Yes.
Mr. Fields? Ms. Miles?
Aye.
Mr. Brown?
Aye.
Vice Mayor?
Yes.
That's a yes for me. We can go in immediately. Quick, wait, I'm getting there.
$69 US Special Forces device turns men into beasts. It emulates 54,000 crunches in 20 minutes and builds an incredible
Whereas the Town Council of Dumfries has convened in closed session or meeting today, which is March 7, 2023. According to the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, it requires a certification that we conducted our meeting in conformity into what we went in. That's according to Virginia Code 2.2-3712. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Town Council of Dumfries hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, only public business matters that was lawfully exempt from open meeting requirements by Virginia law were discussed in closed meeting, to which the certification resolution applies, and only such public business matters as were identified in the motion that which we went with closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered by the town council on a motion made by me.
Second.
Or the following resolution will be adopted by vote. All right, Councilman Brown,
Yes.
Councilman Fields,
Yes.
Ms. Miles,
Yes.
Mr. Pete,
Yes.
Vice Mayor.
Yes.
That's a yes for me. That motion carries. There's nothing to report. This meeting is now adjourned.